And the great period of peace came to an end. Goku and the Z Warriors will have new limits to overcome. The universe is no longer the same. Goku will have to overcome his limits. And in the great game the gods created, mortals are but pawns. It seems the gods want to play again. The most incredible battle of all time is about to begin.
I better get them out of here so they don't destroy everything.
Do you really think you can challenge a god?
This time will be different. We won't be just entertainment for them. Now I'm the one who makes the rules. It's gonna be awesome.
Three years have passed since the Tournament of Power. All universes went through moments of peace. Zeno-sama always told Daishikan that he was excited for the moment when a new Tournament of Power would happen. Everything seemed to be happening with extreme tranquility, but this does not always appear to be the true reality. All the gods of destruction felt extremely intrigued by what happened in the Tournament of Power. They were unhappy with a mortal making idiotic decisions, and because of his fault, he managed to convince Zeno-sama, the creator of everything, to create a tournament capable of destroying all universes at the whim of the multiverse. The gods are infuriated knowing the relationship between Goku and Zeno-sama, being fully aware that Goku has the free will to arrive at the king's palace whenever he wants and free permission to talk to Zeno-sama or even plan as to whatever he wants whenever he wants. What was even more strange was the fact that Zeno-sama had shown himself totally partial in the tournament, leaving his support for Universe 7 declared. After all these events in battle against Broly, Cell Max, and several other villains that emerged, the gods continued to look at Universe 7's performance and especially Goku's performance. At this moment, all the gods of destruction gather and say to Beerus that the great failure of mortals will always be Son Goku. If everyone analyzes it, everywhere Son Goku goes, a catastrophe ends up happening. Even in the periods while Beerus slept, the Saiyan's arrival on Earth, and after all the events he went through, there's something strange with this Saiyan. It is not normal for a warrior of this class to always be able to emerge victorious from extremely difficult battles, and even the death itself he will conquer. It even seemed that another certain supreme god has been watching him from the beginning, so that he's always saving himself with another kind of ultimate goal. Beerus does not agree 100% with the ideal of all other gods due to whether or not it was not for Goku and his friends. Perhaps Universe 7, like several other universes, could not exist anymore. But in the rule of the gods, if a god turns against all other gods, all gods involved rebel against that god and eliminate it. At that moment, it was already clear that all the gods of destruction saw Goku as a target and knew that if he was not eliminated, natural catastrophe would still happen, as if it were a coincidence on Earth, and would still cause other universes then not to be eliminated. If it was not for that mortal's attitudes, they would never end up suffering just like they did in a Tournament of Power. Beerus enraged all the gods. He ends up understanding the gods' decision and say that it will be done, but it will be done his way. Beerus says that he will find a way to seal Goku so that he can't escape a dimension, and make an excuse for Zeno-sama of the Great Priest, because killing the Saiyan due to the relationship he has with Zeno-sama can still create something more devastating. The gods agree. On Earth, all the Z Warriors were having fun and peaceful days with their families, while Goku and Vegeta carried out their training. Beerus appears in the middle of Goku and Vegeta's training. Goku is all happy to see Beerus and greets him with a tone of naivety. But Vegeta looks at the God of Destruction with a look of strangeness to see that the God of Destruction came to Earth alone, without Whis. Vegeta already suspected that Beerus was up to something, because most of the times that the God of Destruction appeared in Universe 7 or in Earth, it was next to his angel to take Goku and Vegeta for training or for a mission, but this time he was alone. Beerus looks at Goku and speaks.
Goku, I need you to come with me in the time chamber.
Goku, with a naive face, is happy to imagine that Beerus is wanting to train Goku. At that time, Vegeta tells Goku not to go because unlike before, he's noticing something different about Beerus. Beerus says that Goku doesn't have any choices, that if he doesn't obey him, the whole Earth will be destroyed and he will be blamed for that. Vegeta speaks.
What is happening right now? What's going on through Beerus' head?
After the dialogue between the God of Destruction and the Saiyans, Beerus leaves Vegeta in the training place and advances with Goku in the time chamber. At the entrance of the time chamber, Goku realizes that Beerus did not want to enter and questions the reason for the decision of the God of Destruction. Beerus keeps a straight face and tells Goku to just go in. Goku starts to laugh and then changes his face to a serious one and says that he already knew that sooner or later this would happen. He already thought it was strange when the entire Universe 9 decided to attack him in the Tournament of Power, and he already imagined that from a certain time he would be the target of the gods. Beerus continues to maintain his straight face without saying a word. Goku says that if Beerus is so sure the other gods are right, he should end Goku's existence right now, since he's such a threat, otherwise things could get worse later. Goku keeps looking at Beerus, but Beerus doesn't say a word, so Goku laughs again and says he already understands and ends up entering the time chamber. Upon entering the time chamber, he hears the sound of a huge explosion. This huge explosion destroyed the entrance to the time chamber, trapping Goku. Beerus says,
"It's done."
At that moment, Vegeta appears in front of the time chamber, saying that what Beerus did was a big mistake. Even if it came from a decision chosen by several other gods, Kakarot's steps go far beyond that. A mortal who managed to activate the Ultra Instinct and impressed all other gods will never be stopped with a ceiling. Unless Beerus the Destroyer was afraid, alongside the other gods, to challenge the mortal that impressed even Zeno-sama. Beerus remains serious and replies that he has nothing to resolve with Vegeta, that what he needed to do was already done, and if he had one more thing against the Destroyer's decision, he could resolve it with him in his fists. Vegeta smiles and says that he won't need to do anything, just wait and time will tell. Beerus returns to his planet. Meanwhile, in the time chamber, an angry Goku begins to reflect and says, "It was just like that time. I remember like it was yesterday, while I was fighting Head in the Universe 6 tournament. Mr. Beerus and his brother Champa were fighting each other, saying that one would destroy the other's universe as if they were banal things. So many lives eliminated by the whims of gods. So many catastrophes occurring, and now without any obvious explanation they decide to arrest me as if I were a greater threat to everyone. This has already gone too far." Goku begins to raise his powers more and more in the time chamber and activates his Ultra Instinct. Goku from now on lives with a new goal.
Now everyone will know, for better or worse, who I am. Everyone will know the real Son Goku. Beerus will regret not killing me. If his idea was to end me, this silly was the worst choice. Now I will get more and more powerful until the moment I can get out of here. Now it's time for revenge.
Goku was at his house training when suddenly a group of 4 gods appeared. They accused Goku of having caused too much trouble in the universe and decided to punish him by imprisoning him in the time chamber. Surrounded by the gods. "What's going on? What are you doing this to me?"
Don't lie to us, Goku. We know that you are aware of what you did, or rather, what you were going to do.
"But I didn't do anything." "Your denial only further proves your guilt, Goku. You're aware of what you've done, and even if you haven't done anything yet, it's just a matter of time. And now you will be taken to the time chamber to face the consequences of your actions." Goku was furious and tried to fight the gods, but they were too powerful for it. Left with no choice, Goku was easily taken to the hyperbolic time chamber and locked away. Meanwhile, Beerus and Whis stop in the middle of their meal and are stunned by the feeling they just experienced. They looked at each other, trying to find an explanation of what just happened.
What will it be?
Whis asked. Beerus didn't respond immediately. He was trying to identify the source of the disturbance. His divine senses allowed him to detect things most beings could not perceive, and he could sense that something powerful and unknown was moving in the fabric of time and space. Finally, Beerus turned to Whis and says,
"I don't know, but there's something seriously wrong out there. We need to investigate, Whis."
They moved together, using their divine ability to break through the barriers of time and space. As they got closer to the source of the disturbance, Beerus could feel his anger building.
"They locked Goku in the time chamber,"
he roared, his eyes narrowing in fury.
"Who made this?"
Whis asked. Trying to understand the situation, Beerus growled in response. He could sense the presence of other gods nearby, but not the gods of destruction they knew from other universes. This made him even more worried.
"I don't know who this is, but I have my suspicions,"
he said, his voice thick with menace. They continue advancing until they finally arrived at the location of the disturbance.
What's going on here?
Beerus asked, his voice full of anger. The gods turned to face them, but they didn't seem intimidated. They knew they had the power to fight the gods of destruction if need to be. God Champa says,
We are here to punish Goku.
with a malicious smile on his lips.
He caused a lot of trouble in our universe, and we think he needs a lesson.
Beerus couldn't believe what he was hearing. He felt like that he was talking to his brother, Champa, but there was something strange in the air. The aura wasn't the same. Something was wrong. He looked at Whis and saw the same confusion on his face.
Who are you anyway?
Beerus asked suspiciously. Champa looked taken aback by Beerus' quick remark. He thought that his appearance and aura were identical to the real Champa, but Beerus was able to detect the difference. The god of destruction looked directly at the fake Champa with a look of disdain and distrust.
You're not my brother,
Beerus said, his voice now cold and hard.
Your aura is different. Who are you and what are you doing here?
The fake Champa realized he had been discovered. He let out a cynical laugh before answering.
You're smart, Beerus. I'm an imposter, but I'm not the real either.
You look like the gods of destruction we know, but you're not them,
stated Beerus. Beerus then asked Whis what the hell is going on there, and Whis explained that if he wasn't mistaken, those gods weren't from the same reality as them. That would explain why the fabric of time and reality was tearing, and he believed these lords were responsible for it. Whis explained to Beerus that there was a difference between universe and reality. He said that there were 12 known universes, but from them, there were infinite realities that unfolded in each universe.
These unknown gods are not from our reality,
Whis explained to Beerus.
They must have come from an alternative reality in one of the 12 universes. This is why we feel the fabric of time and reality being torn apart.
Beerus nodded, realizing it made sense. He knew that there were other realities where different events could happen, but he had never thought of gods from other realities entering his own reality.
So what should we do?
Beerus asked.
We must stop these gods from punishing Goku. They have no right to interfere with our reality, and we cannot allow that to happen.
The fake Champa smirked as he saw the warrior's expressions of Beerus' face.
We've trapped Goku in a special time chamber that connects reality,
he said with a superior tone.
There, no one will be able to rescue him. He's completely at our mercy now.
Whis looked at the unknown gods with a serious expression on his face.
The only mystery here is why they're after Goku,
he said.
What did he do to deserve being locked in a special time chamber? And why are you so determined to punish him?
The fake Champa then explained the reason behind Goku's punishment.
The problem isn't just with this version of Goku. It is with all the versions of him in any universe and reality. In all realities, one version of Goku is responsible for a universal catastrophe. He's a dangerous existence, and the greatest of them was the devourer of realities, as he was known. We are condemning all existent versions of Goku to prevent this from happening again. And in this special time chamber, where we trapped him, no one can rescue him.
Whis was stunned by the revelation, while Beerus looked skeptical.
That's impossible,
he said.
Goku can be a little reckless at times, but he could never do something that catastrophic.
The fake Champa just shook his head.
You don't understand, Beerus. It's not just this version of Goku that's the problem. It's all versions of him, in all realities. Do you understand? He's in constant danger. He is the danger. And it's our duty to protect the existence of all universe and all realities. The doom of Goku is the only solution.
Beerus was uneasy about the situation. He felt that something was wrong with the unknown gods and the situation in general. They weren't just doing a duty. They were enjoying the possibility of condemning Goku. Furthermore, the fake Champa's words made no sense to Beerus. Condemned all versions of Goku in all realities? That seemed like an exaggeration, even for someone like Beerus who had already seen a lot of strange things in his life. As a god of destruction, of course, he knew there was something that they were keeping from him. He knew that there was something that they were keeping out from him, but he couldn't figure out what it was. The situation was getting more and more tense, and Beerus knew he needed to act fast if he wanted to save Goku. In the time chamber, Goku felt lost and alone. He was used to training in open, sunny places where he could hear the sounds of nature and feel the warmth of the sun. But in the Hall of Time, he was surrounded by darkness and silence. He began training, but soon realized that the time chamber was unlike anything he had ever experienced. The challenges were tougher and the enemies more powerful. Goku was trapped in a time chamber, a place where time passes differently than it does in the real world. He had been imprisoned there because he was considered a threat, since in many different realities a version of Goku caused destruction and chaos in transcendental emotions. However, Goku still didn't know it. Imprisoned Goku did the only thing he could do. He trained intensely, looking for a way to escape this prison. After months of training, Goku felt that he had reached a new level of power. He focused all of his ki and let it flow, pouring out all of his energy. He felt an incredible strength building within him, as if it was capable of destroying anything that stood in its way. Suddenly, the fabric of reality began to distort and tear around him, until it finally gave way completely. Goku was surprised and happy with the enormous power he had gained in such a short time, but his happiness didn't last long. When the fabric of reality breaks down, he finds himself in a completely different space. It was as if he had been transported to another dimension in a completely strange and unfamiliar place. He looked up and saw several time chambers capsules floating in space. When he tried to fly up, he felt that there was no place without a time chamber capsule. He was confused. He had never seen anything like this before, and he had no idea how he could escape this strange place. As he flew, looking for a way out, he felt that the time capsules were everywhere. He began to wonder how this was possible, how there could be so many capsules, and how the time chambers were contained within them. He tried to fly towards one of the capsules to see what was inside, but was stopped by an incredibly strong barrier that flew him backwards. Goku was surprised. He had never encountered such a strong barrier before. Even with all his powers, Goku couldn't destroy it. Every blow he landed was reflected back at him, making him feel the impact. He knew that something important must be inside that capsule, but he couldn't get there. Determined to find out what was sleeping there, Goku focused all his energy on trying to feel it. Goku focused all his energy on trying to feel if there was something inside the time chamber capsule. To his surprise, he felt ki extremely similar to his own. He was confused for a moment, wondering if the barrier could have reflected his own presence back at him. However, before he could think about it further, he caught the presence of another being with a similar ki to his own, hovering nearby. Goku was excited at the possibility of meeting someone. Following the person's presence, Goku wondered if this person would be able to help him or at least answer some of his questions. As he approached the mysterious figure, Goku shouted, "Hey, you! Hey!" The figure was on its back on top of a huge rock that was floating on that place. Upon hearing Goku, the figure turned around and surprised Goku. The mysterious man was the spitting image of Goku himself. The figure then says, "Amazing. Looks like I'm not the only monster around here." "Incredible! You're just like me. You're Saiyan too, right?" asked Goku. Mysterious figure said, "And who are you? How did you get here asking a bunch of questions? Say your name first, you weirdo. And who are you? How did you get here asking a bunch of questions? Say your name first, you weirdo." "But yeah, I'm a Saiyan, and apparently you are one too, right?" Goku was a little confused by the way the mysterious figure spoke, but he was excited to find someone who could help him understand what he was feeling. He then introduced himself. "I'm Goku, from Universe 7. And you?" The mysterious figure looked at Goku with an intense gaze, as if sizing him up. Goku noticed that there was something different about this figure, something he couldn't explain. Then the figure replied, "Your name is Goku. I never met someone with that name. My name is Kakarot." Goku widened his eyes in surprise. "Really? That's my second name too," he said, shaking his head. "Interesting. You must have a great life story," introduced Kakarot, with a smile on his face. Goku couldn't help but smile too, but his expression soon changed to a more heartfelt one as he remembered why he was there. Kakarot, I have something funny to say. I have no idea what's going on. Could you explain to me, what's happening?" asked Goku, sincerely confused by the situation he found himself in. Kakarot looked even more surprised. Hey, you don't know? Goku shook his head. I have no idea. Nobody told me anything. I was trapped in one of those capsules. No, was trapped in one of those capsules. I don't know how else these capsules are like in the time chamber, explained Goku, looking at Kakarot. Kakarot said, I see. So you'd know absolutely nothing, he said in a worried manner. In that case, the first thing you should know is that I am you and you are me from a parallel reality. A reality that is not separate by either time or space. It's a new dimension mirrored by another dimension, mirrored by another dimension, and so on. And that's how we all originated, Kakarot explained, glaring at Goku. Goku was stunned by Kakarot's explanation. It was hard to understand, but he knew he had to trust him since he was the only clue he had as to what's going on. And the second thing? He asked, eager for more information. We are being haunted by several gods in different realities. At some point, some Goku or Kakarot, that is, whatever the name of this other version of us is, will be captured and imprisoned in a capsule with temporal rooms, said Kakarot, his expression becoming more serious. Goku was completely stunned by Kakarot's words, but at the same time he felt a strange animation inside him. He had never imagined that there would be so many gods behind him and his other versions. How is that even possible? Why are we even being hunted? Kakarot realized Goku's confusion and explained, Several versions of us have already caused imaginable catastrophes. We were classified as a threat at the level of the great Senno-sama. The gods decided to hunt us all down because worse than a god of destruction is a god of antimatter. Someone who can erase life like it's nothing. A version of us, they call that. Goku was shocked by the revelation, but he also felt a twinge of pride. So you mean our potential for evolution surpasses the gods and that's why they're afraid of us? Asked Goku. Exactly, replied Kakarot excitedly. And even now you still don't realize what you've done, do you? Asked Kakarot. I don't understand anything. What did I do? Kakarot looked at Goku in awe and said, You have great potential, my friend. Anyone who escapes the capsule is no longer the same. I still don't understand. You just escaped from a capsule that imprisoned you in a temporal chamber made to punish angels and even rebellious gods. At that moment, you overcome a pseudo-god of destruction, maybe even clash with an angel, explained Kakarot. Goku looked at Kakarot in surprise. He couldn't believe he had so much power inside him. But then a feeling of dread began to build in his chest. If the gods were hunting them all down, that meant he wasn't safe anywhere. Goku looked at Kakarot in surprise. He asked him how they were going to seek to evolve with the gods all the time behind them. We won't be safe anywhere, pointed Goku. Kakarot hesitated before answering Goku, but he finally said, Yes and no. We're safe, but our other versions are still being hunted. He sighed, thinking of the challenges they still lay ahead. Our problems now are no longer the gods. After all, we've already been captured. But we only managed to get past the first problem. There are still other challenges to return to our reality. Goku looked at Kakarot worried and asked, And in the second problem, are we alone? Kakarot shook his head. No, we're not alone. There are many of us scattered around, all looking for a way to increase our power and escape from here. Kakarot looked thoughtful before adding, I heard that a version of us has been causing a lot of trouble for the gods outside. This version was the first to escape the time chamber. It became known as the Devourer of Life or God of Antimatter. He simply ended all traces of existing life by escaping from prison. Because of this, the gods decided to make a new layer of protective barrier to prevent other possible versions of us from escaping. We will have to do much more than that. We will have to do much more than just escaping the capsule. It will be something new and unprecedented. Goku was impressed by the story. This guy must be amazing. I'd like to fight him one day, he said, his expression determined. Kakarot agreed. He must be, but we have to focus on getting out of here first. Then we can think about challenging the Life Eater. Goku nodded, agreeing with his friend. Of course, we need a plan first. But the idea of fighting someone that strong is exciting. As they were talking, a mysterious figure approached. It was a version of Vegeta they had never seen before. He had a somber air and appeared to be in a state of deep meditation. Kakarot and Goku were surprised to see him, but decided to approach him to try and find out more about his history and his quest to escape that place. They approached carefully, trying not to disturb Vegeta's concentration. "Hey, who are you?" asked Goku, trying to get Vegeta's attention. Vegeta opened his eyes slowly, and his expression turned into a mixture of anger and disbelief.
I am the great King Vegeta, of course. How did you not realize that before?
Kakarot took a step forward, trying to defuse the situation. Sorry, we didn't mean to offend you. We're just trying to escape this place and wanted to know if you had any information that could help us. Vegeta looked hesitant to share anything with them.
I don't trust you. I don't know if you're our friends or enemies.
Goku was in a state of confusion as he saw a version of Vegeta in front of him. He had thought that that place would only be inhabited by versions of him. But to his surprise, there was also a version of his eternal rival. Kakarot, for his part, was also surprised and stated that he had never seen any other version of Vegeta in his travels and wanderings in this world they were trapped in. In addition, Kakarot said that he never imagined that Prince Vegeta could be a king in any reality, because in his reality Vegeta always preached peace and was so meek and calm that he was a fiasco as a Saiyan warrior. This statement left Goku even more confused, as in his reality Vegeta was known as a Chaos Wrangler and a powerful Saiyan warrior. Faced with the contradiction between the two realities, Goku questioned Kakarot if he was serious, stating that it was almost unimaginable for him to think of Vegeta as a pacifist. However, the version of Vegeta present in that reality got irritated with their conversation and told them not to compare him with this pathetic version they had of him. Vegeta's presence in another reality, especially as a pacifist, was something difficult for Goku to understand, who had always known Vegeta as a fierce warrior and the constant antagonist in his battles. Kakarot's statement about Vegeta's personality in his reality seemed almost absurd to Goku, who was used to fighting the Saiyan Prince in his own reality. The conversation with the version of Vegeta present in that reality left Goku and Kakarot thoughtful for a few seconds and curious about the different versions of themselves and their friends that could exist in other realities. They began to question themselves about how the choices and decisions they have made in their own realities could have led to different outcomes in other realities. The experience of meeting a different version of a familiar character was a new experience for both Goku and Kakarot. They realized that the multiverse was vaster and more complex than they had previously imagined, and that there were countless possibilities and realities that they had not yet explored. The conversation with the version of Vegeta present there had made them more humble and curious about other realities that they still didn't know, and it opened their minds to a new understanding that would make all the difference in their near future. During Goku, Kakarot, and Vegeta's conversation, dark and lifeless beings approached them, ready for direct combat. They physically resembled Goku, wearing black masks and black clothes. They looked empty, without any life. Three warriors realized that there was something strange about these beings and prepared for battle. However, they were weak, and Goku made no effort to finish them off. The battle was not difficult and was over in a few moments. Upon starting combat, Goku showed a small portion of his power, just to warm up and prepare for more difficult battles. This served to impress everyone there, including Vegeta, who was amazed at Goku's power. Kakarot, upon seeing the power emanating from Goku, thought to himself, "That's a third of his power? Impressive, and I'll challenge him." Meanwhile, Vegeta felt inferior. He considered himself incredibly powerful, but he realized that in just that one small battle, the version he knew of Kakarot wasn't even close to a third of Goku's power. Vegeta's facial expressions changed to a mixture of surprise and admiration. There was respect and maturity that we didn't know expressed in his gaze. Kakarot was visibly perplexed by the appearance of the dark and lifeless beings that attacked them. With a confused expression, he asked Goku where these beings were and if he had seen anything similar before. Goku shook his head, saying that he had never seen anything like this. Vegeta, who seemed less surprised by the situation, explained that these beings were common in that place, and that they always appeared suddenly. They are not strong and do not have battle intelligence. It is as if they were lifeless dolls following orders, but their origin was still unknown. Meanwhile, the beings' bodies began to dissipate, turning into dust. Unfortunately, this prevented any kind of more detailed investigation into the origin of these mysterious beings. Goku sighed and commented that there seemed to be more questions than answers in that place. He looked around, taking in the desolate landscape and dark, unsettling space. It was like they were in a completely different world that they were used to. Kakarot, for his part, seemed excited at the prospect of new challenges and adventures. He turned to Goku and said with a smile on his face, "Well, at least we're not going to get bored here, are we?" However, Vegeta remained silent and seemed to be mulling something over in silence. His expression was serious and concentrated, as if he was analyzing every detail of his surroundings. And this is where we're gonna end today. So, my partner, what do you believe? Will Goku overcome this situation? What is the truth behind these beings? What can happen in the midst of all this? Regardless of what it is more than important that you already expose it here in your comments so that we can enter into that crazy debate. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.